claims of new Mandela effects that we've never seen before. And the authorities are warning if you see rabbits with tentacles on their face to stay away. And is Anna Paulina Luna serious when she says that she has seen interdimensional beings? In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
This is by far the most dangerous film ever made. You'll be glad to know in the making of this movie, no animals were hurt, but every single person was. The movie Raw, which came out in 1981, was actually a PG, but what happened on the set was not PG. Now, the movie had a simple but very wholesome premise. It was this guy going on an adventure, and there was all of these lions and tigers everywhere. But you see, there was over 150 lions and tigers on the set of this movie, obviously, all trained and prepared to be there, right? Well, not exactly. That was the issue. None of the lions and tigers were tame. They were completely wild. The director wanted it to be as natural and realistic as possible, so he got completely untamed wild animals and brought them on the film set, basically unrestrained. And as you can imagine, things didn't go very well, and they even put it in the flipping film credits. Over 70 cast and crew on the movie were severely injured, including this actress in the movie who needed a lot of plastic surgery. One guy had his scalp ripped off of his head and needed 150 stitches. Somehow, no one actually died, but there were so many injuries. People were being completely and utterly mauled by the tigers and lions on the set. Surprisingly, not many people know about this or even know about the film, but it remains absolutely deadly.
I have never heard of Roar. That's a new one to me. At least animals were not harmed. It sucks that they were wild. They were probably extremely scared. And it does suck that people did get hurt, but at least nobody or no animal died, or at least that's what they say.
Well, it's finally happened. UFOs, unidentified objects, UAPs, whatever you would like to call them, are no just in our skies. The following footage was captured by a man in Russia. The exact place is unknown. He captures what appears to be a low, hovering UFO. And this thing is big. And quite honestly, the footage is spectacular. You can actually see this saucer-shaped craft, and we still don't know who they are, what they are, and what they want with us. Take a look at this footage, comment below, tell me what you think.
А у нас тут летающая тарелка зависла. Вон она. И уже долго-долго мы ее наблюдаем здесь. Жуткая, конечно.
I'm not sure if that's a UFO. I feel like that might be just a building with lights going off inside of it, but it is really hard to tell, to be honest. I personally do not feel like it's a UFO. It did not move whatsoever, just the lights moved. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of the footage. Let me know what you guys think it was in the comments.
There's this thing called Operation Often, and it was hidden from the majority of government until 1975 to 77. The FBI director basically destroyed all evidence of MK Ultra. So in December of 2024, they just released 1,200 documents, gave more light to this thing called Operation Often. Operation Often was a joint U.S. Army and CIA project launched in the late 1960s. They went full in on hiring Satanists, witches, to study and see if they could weaponize the paranormal. This is not made up. These documents came out saying that they were doing this. There are even reports that this program had files on spiritual possessions, poltergeist activity, and demonic entities.
Bro,
this is the U.S. government saying, like, let's research this and see if we can weaponize it.
they're looking at spirituality as like a science to be like harnessed.
Because they know it's real. People think black magic, witchcraft, all this stuff is baloney. But I'm like, if the government, they've been looking, now they're like, now we're going to conduct a study on it.
This was at the height of the Cold War paranoia. So they're like just trying to figure out anything to weaponize.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not surprise me that the CIA, FBI, you try to utilize psychics. If there's demons out there or spirits, they probably also would definitely try to weaponize them. The biggest question is, did they succeed in that? They could say that they failed all they want, but did they really? Very interesting stuff that they studied back in the day, and I'm sure it's really crazy on what they're doing now.
Is she for real? Is Anna Paulina Luna for real? So she just told Joe Rogan that she's seen evidence of interdimensional beings in a brand new podcast interview. And I'm curious to know which side you're on. Is she giving us real insight here, or is it just political noise? Check this out and let's talk.
There's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to explain currently.
So when you say that it operates outside our understanding of physics, what specifically are you saying? Like what happened?
To I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have,
Energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have, and that's not something that I came up with on my own. That's based on stuff that we've seen. That's based on information that we've been told.
Say interdimensional beings, that they know that these are interdimensional beings. How do they know that?
Based on testimony would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell you
So
is
the witnesses just were told that they were interdimensional?
that they've seen things. And what I can tell you without getting into classified conversations is that there have been incidences that I believe where very credible people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space.
That's very vague.
Yeah. So, look.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Look. Have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes.
Now, I do think the phrasing here is important. She doesn't just say aliens, she says interdimensional beings. And that's a very specific and a very loaded term in the UFO research world because it opens the door to theories about parallel realities, alternate timelines, and non-human intelligences that don't come from space, but from here, just beyond our perception. So here's my question for you. When you listen to what and how she says this, do you think this is true insight or even a hint? Or is it a deliberate, typical political statement? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know where you stand.
I don't know. It's really basically like Joe Rogan said, it's extremely vague. Then again, what do you expect someone to say? Just whip out the whole photo evidence right from their back pocket and just show you everything? So I guess I really don't know how to feel about this conversation because it's always the same old. There's just this person talking about what other people have seen and done, and that they've seen things that they themselves cannot explain. But let me know what you guys think about this episode of Joe Rogan. Was it a good episode? I have not watched it personally. I just keep seeing clips of it here and there pop up on TikTok. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's subscribed and or watching, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
This rock right here that looks like a giant ball is blocking the entrance to something that you can't get to. Just look where it's located. On the shore of the ocean, there's nothing around there, and this thing is way up with no way to get to it. What is it blocking? That's the entrance to some kind of cave. Is it a cave to the underworld? Yeah, you heard me right. A cave to the underworld. The indigenous American tribe, the Hopi, have a legend of the ant people. Yeah, the ant people who live deep under the earth and have visited the Hopi and helped them in lots of ways for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The Hopi say the ant people live under the earth, but they don't want anybody bothering them. That's why the entrances to the underworld, where the ant people live, have either been hidden or blocked off. 'Cause after the colonizers, the white people, got to the Americas, the ant people no longer felt safe, and that's why they went back under the earth. Is it possible that that's what this is? An entrance to the underworld where the ant people live? Let me know your opinion, Booshkies, in the comment section.
I mean, I would be very curious as to what that is. From the outside, it looks perfectly spherical, and honestly, it kind of looks like a giant geode. I would actually like to see someone try to bust that thing open. As far as it being some kind of block off from ant people, possibly, but I really like the idea that that's just a really big geode.
I've been sent 2 pieces of interesting footage featuring metallic spheres, UFOs flying through mountains and volcanic ranges, right? So this one comes from the Quindio Mountains in Colombia, of a strange metallic sphere gliding through the mountain range. Now, the Quindio Mountains, one thing to take note of, they are quartz rich in nature. They have much quartzite and volcanic rocks as well. And this object just is gliding through, minding its own business, mate. No real explanation to what it's doing. Apparently this was just floating and flying around and then vanished off. Very strange. And this next piece of footage in a moment I'm going to show you from Chile features a metallic sphere flying around, and then it fires almost like some sort of energy pulse, right? But again here, it's like phasing in and out almost. Look at this close up. Now, if I've seen a metallic sphere, this would be it. It's glinting. It has like a shadow underneath. It kind of looks bugosphere in nature, mate. Like, what do you guys think? Now, we're going to move on to the sighting in Chile, bruv, right? Check this one out. So, it's kind of hard to see the start of this footage. The metallic sphere is actually gliding around this sort of water area down the bottom here, right? Then it kind of flies around and it ends up back at the top of the volcano. This is in Chile from the Antuco volcano range, right? Look at this. There it is in the distance. I'll zoom in for you as well in a minute. It seems to fire off some sort of pulse-like thing which looks like it crashes into the floor. It phases out and then leaves this residue behind. It's glinting. It's glowing, and it's reflecting some sunlight, which makes it look metallic. It is hella strange, mate. Look, here we go again. Look, it fires some sort of pulse out, and then it kind of just, like, impacts the ground. Now, this weird sort of residue, whatever this is, dust, object, hangs around for a little while, and then it kind of vanishes off after. I don't know. And if it goes for people that are watching this, you know that Chile, Colombia as well, just have lots of strange stuff going on. More so metallic type objects floating around, just being very anomalous. What do you guys think, mate? Let me know down below. This is kind of crazy.
The first video I could probably push off as being a bird flying in the distance, and it's just really blurry. The second video is a little bit more difficult to explain. I wish that the video's clarity was better, because that could have been probably one of the most interesting UFO UAP videos shot, especially whatever it shot out from it and it hit the ground or dispersed into the air. I'm not sure what it was. I really don't know what it could have been if it was not a fake video. Let me know if you have any ideas in the comments, because yeah, I'm clueless on the second video.
Craziest conspiracy theory ever. And stay till the end because this gets wild. The conspiracy theory about the Atlas 3I comet, alien spaceship, you want to call it. The alien spaceship is 12 miles long. It just released a ton of water in space. Why would it do that? Now, there's a theory that this alien spaceship is coming back for the aliens that are here. If that is true, which aliens would they be? We just had an earthquake, 8.8, that caused a massive tsunami. A lot of people are talking about aliens under the water and all these UFOs are popping out. If these aliens are coming back for aliens underwater, it would make sense that the aliens that are on that ship would need a lot of water on that ship to fill up 12 miles worth of a ship, and that they would be the octopus that are coming back for their children that have been birthed here on Earth to bring them back to their home planet. Maybe this Earth is the perfect place for them to be birthed, and they're going back. So if this is true, then this would lend credence to people believing that scientists also believe this, that octopus are from other planets. A 12-mile-long ship would hold a ton of water. Maybe they released it to get some fresh water released from its own ship. What do you think? True or not? Let's hear what you have to say. Put your comment in the comment section, because we're going to find out in a couple weeks when it gets here. Universe out.
Hey, I mean, interesting theory. It's like some Call of Cthulhu stuff, but a little hard to believe. Let me know what you guys think about this theory.
Authorities are warning, if you see any rabbits with tentacle-like growths, stay away. Today, on the internet, people have been freaking out after these images have emerged of diseased rabbits with tentacle-like growths and horns. And while these rabbits, which were spotted in Fort Collins, Colorado, do look like some shit out of The Last of Us, there's actually a pretty logical explanation. These growths are actually caused by a virus called Shope papilloma, and while there is no cure for this disease, believe it or not, it's fairly common among certain rabbit populations in America, and it's not even new. In fact, there are some records of it dating all the way back to the 1930s. And before the word virus starts making you lock your doors, these things are kind of like benign cancers that just continue to grow, but they won't necessarily harm the rabbit unless it spreads into a sensitive area. The disease also, thankfully, cannot be passed to humans or other animals. However, authorities have recently reiterated and warned locals to stay away from them to avoid stressing them out or provoking them.
I have never seen a rabbit with that before. I do believe I've heard of this, but yeah, that is disturbing. I mean, poor creatures.
Y'all are never gonna guess what I found. Well, what found me? So this that was seen in the sky in Pennsylvania and other places, turns out I have friends in Pennsylvania. And yesterday just happened to have a lot of curious events in it. But let me preface this video by saying that they said it was a satellite. Of course they would not lie to us. This video belongs to Jessica, and this information belongs to Melissa. She has a family very involved with the Navy. Also, shout out to Santino Guzzo, because a lot of pictures I'm going to use in this video belongs to him. So Melissa's sister was at the beach yesterday, and she had noticed that there were Navy carriers actually on the beach. Now, they know as a military family that it's not normal. Their carriers are docked in Virginia, and they only go out when there's a mission. Look at that thing. Why would a satellite come out to the sides? Now we know the Navy carriers are completely unrelated. On to a completely different subject. Now completely unrelated, don't forget we just had that steel mill explosion in Pennsylvania. Back to the spiral, completely unrelated, but it wasn't just Navy carriers, there were Navy jets in the air. Yeah, they exist, and that comes from a military family, who's always been a military family, I believe, and also, they know when things are normal and not normal, especially her mom and dad. This behind me is not Pennsylvania. This was the Russian spiral, I believe, that occurred last year. Do you notice anything weird about it? It looks exactly the same, even the flanges of light coming off of it. Now, 1000% unrelated on a completely different subject. Did you know that Aleister Crowley, Wernher von Braun, Jack Parsons, a whole bunch of guys got together and they're doing rituals in the desert? It was said they were opening a portal. Not too long after that, we had Roswell happen, but before Roswell, I found something very strange with the rituals. I have a whole video on the summoning of the Moonchild in the desert, you can go watch it. When Crowley was doing his rituals in the desert, something called a cake of light, center of Gnostic mass and mass of the Phoenix. A grand light that appears in the ritual. Do you know what this is? This is the Norwegian spiral from 2009. This is the Norway spiral. There were spirals all over the Earth for years before SpaceX was even founded. Just fun fact. By the way, did I tell you that Jack Parsons made it as a major in the armed forces? Literally, the same guy that was buddies with Crowley, Von Braun, all of them. So why do all these spirals look the same? And you want to know something weird and completely unrelated? A whole nother subject, but you know how in all those movies when they open portals, they have crazy lightning? And the lightning and the thunder is so powerful where it shakes everything in their whole laboratory. That's crazy, right? Not related, but it reminds me of all the crazy storms we had leading up to yesterday. In the north and northeast where the thunder and lightning was extremely violent and strong. People were even saying they could feel the ground shaking like never before when that lightning was going on. Oh, I forgot to add a crucial detail. This right here is how crazy the Schumann frequency is. You know, frequency, energy, etc. 2025, isn't it so cool that we were able to see a satellite in the sky?
It's really crazy that it spirals like that, and me personally, I don't even know if I want to believe that it's a satellite. I'm not saying that it's a portal or anything like that. What I'm saying it could be is it could be a device emitting some kind of chemical or particle in the sky or in the upper atmosphere and releasing some kind of coating in the sky to prevent sun from passing through or causing storms, things like that. And they're just saying that it's a crashing out satellite. But let me know, have any of you seen the spiral?
Insane medical facts we used to believe. In the 1920s, everyone and their mother was getting lung cancer, so renowned doctors from all over the world came together to try to figure out why this was happening. One of the doctors suggested it was the 100 cigarettes everyone was smoking every day, and he got got laughed out of the room. Mind you, at this time were people not only smoking, it was being prescribed by doctors. My grandma said she was prescribed them when she was pregnant to help her from gaining too much baby weight. Cigarettes were even prescribed for asthma to help open the airways. Ultimately, they decided it was because of all the new automobiles, and it took years and years for them to find the true source of lung cancer. Heroin used to be marketed as a safe and non-addictive alternative for morphine. It was even put in cough syrup and used on children. The people loved it. In the early 1900s, people drank radioactive water. People were told it would boost energy and cure ailments. In the 1950s, doctors would take an ice pick and put it in the tear ducts and then ice pick into the brain to perform a lobotomy. This was done blindly with no real idea of what part of the brain you were scraping out. It was often done without anesthetics as well.
Man, people were having some wild times back in the day, and I bet they really liked that medicine.
This never happened, and I can guarantee you've not seen this before. The movie Home Alone, millions of people swear that there's a scene where Marv and Harry are driving past a church and looking in. Marv then says, "This place gives me the creeps, we all remember that." But it never happened. Millions, and I mean genuinely millions of people remember a movie called Shazam. Not the popular superhero movie that came out recently. I'm talking about an OG movie from the 80s called Shazam that featured Sinbad. But of course, again, this movie never existed. The most famous one, you've probably all seen, the emojis that didn't exist. Lots of people claiming that the robber emoji existed, but it never did, even though some people still claim that they actually do have it on their phone. Everybody, and I mean everybody, remembers in the Disney intros Tinkerbell dotting the I's, one of the most iconic things. But no, didn't happen. Of course it didn't. This is genuinely really weird. But apparently a lot of people thought that New Zealand was located northeast off of Australia, and had always thought that that is exactly where it was on a world map. And of course, in the movie E.T., E.T. never said E.T. phone home. He actually said E.T. home phone, which again, people have been absolutely baffled over the fact that that genuinely happened.
I mean, I was personally aware of all these Mandela effects. The only one that I question now is the Tinkerbell dotting the I. I'm pretty certain Tinkerbell dotted something. She either dotted the I or she put a period at the end of Disney. But she did something. But other than that, these were all familiar to me. Let me know if any of these were new to you.
This is the biggest conspiracy theory of all time, and stay till the end because it gets crazier and crazier. This involves the man, the legend that painted beautiful landscapes. Why did he paint such beautiful landscapes, and who was he before he was a painter? Let's get into it. So before he was a painter, he was a drill instructor for the United States Air Force. He was stationed in one of the harshest areas to live in, Alaska. For 20 years, he retired. He wanted peace and comfort and tranquility, and he found it in painting. Why did he need peace and quiet and tranquility? Well, as you know, drill instructors are tough, hard-nosed, and have to be difficult on their recruits, right? Well, these guys are also known to be a little bit too rough. Sometimes they end up serial killers. And story goes that as Bob Ross painted these paintings, he showed his viewers where he hid the bodies. The bodies were hidden at the bases of these beautiful mountains. This is a conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's true. The story is that he allowed himself to relive the thrill of the hunt by painting and saying that it was going to be calm and peaceful and nice. He was actually reliving each kill. Possible. What do you think? We all love Bob Ross. I love watching his shows. They're so calm, they're so peaceful. But this is a good conspiracy theory. It's one for the ages. What do you think? Comment in the comment section.
Nah, you can't do Bob Ross like that. He's way too calm to be that violent. But who knows? Maybe. I learned a lot of painting techniques from him personally. I really enjoyed watching his show growing up. But let me know, do you think Bob Ross might have been doing some sinister things out there? I definitely hope not. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. I do want to apologize for the lack of uploads. I've been extremely busy all week with my day job outside of YouTube, and it's been busy. But today I just wanted to kind of lay back, take it easy. It is my birthday, and what better way to end the day with watching some TikToks in about a 63-degree building while it's nice and cool, and make a video for you guys. Sounds like a pretty good day to me. So with that, I am sorry for the lack of uploads. Hopefully we can get back on schedule now. But as always, I do want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me, and with that being said, have a good day.